right. Test 1, 2. This is Spencer. Test 1, 2. Joel, you're up.
Testing 1, 2. Testing 1, 2.
Testing 1, 2. Testing 1, 2. I do hear something going on twice. Hopefully it's okay though. On the
And I'll let you know when we're live to do a test. Okay, test 1, 2. Test 1, 2. Dennis.
testing 1, 2, 3. Testing 1, 2, 3. Hearing myself, but hopefully not an echo on the broadcast.
Testing 1, 2, 3. Testing 1, 2, 3.
Coming to you live from downtown Detroit, this is Benzinga's Pre-Market Prep with your host, Joel Elconin.
This is a volatile puppy here, isn't it?
And Dennis Dick.
I've bid a penny. I will buy the stock for a penny.
With everything you need to start your trading day.
Good morning, everybody. Welcome to this Wednesday edition of Benzinga's Pre-Market Prep. I'm Spencer Israel here with Joel Elconin and Dennis Dick. Big show today. We're trying out some new streaming software, but we've also got a big day. Apple earnings, obviously, yesterday. We're going to talk with Piper Jaffray's Michael Olson at 8:35. All about that and what he thinks it means going forward. But it's not the only earnings report we've got. Of course, FireEye and a handful of others. So we'll get to as many as we can. Plus, we'll take your questions in our chat. Joel, tell us how we're doing this morning in the S&P.
Trading up 3/4 of a point here at 24.73. Tight range overnight. We haven't went red at all as we had to close at 72.25. So we'll keep an eye on that. On the upside, last 2 days highs at 74 and 75. Tuesday's high 77.25. So we got some resistance here in order to get to Dow 22,000. We have crude trading in the red by 12 cents. Volatile day yesterday, but seems on the comeback. The old double top just above 50 at 50, 41, and 43. That stopped the rally. We'll see if he can hold yesterday's low. Yesterday's low in crude is way down at 48.37. Gold and silver in the red. Gold down 640 at 12.73, and silver down 12 cents at 16.64. Good morning, Dennis. How you doing on this Wednesday morning?
Not doing too bad here, Joel. How's it going?
Good. I'm just very excited. Spencer failed to mention that we're having a very special guest in the world headquarters of Benzinga in just about an hour and a half, 2 hours. Gene Munster of Loop Ventures. It's going to be in the office. We're going to be talking about driverless cars, Apple earnings, Amazon earnings, and even Dennis. Dennis is going to get out of his cage and come over to Benzinga. So we're looking forward to that. But we got a lot of stuff to cover in the meantime.
There is a ton of stocks. And let's start with the biggest gun of them all, Apple earnings last night. Blow it away. Guest on CNBC 2 nights ago, and I don't know why this was said, but he was talking the charts. So I think it was Rich Ross or the technical analyst from Evercore, and he's on Fast Money, and he's talking about Apple before the report, and he's saying the technicals look terrible on this, and saying that the earnings don't even matter. The stock is going down, and I'm like, I'll tell you something. What we always say on our show is when fundamental information comes out, technicals take a back seat. I don't even care what the chart looks like. If there's good earnings and you blow it away, the stock's going higher. So not sure, I kind of laughed at that. And now I don't know if he's taking back what he said, because here you are. The earnings obviously matter here on Apple. Stock is trading up 6%.
You want the number? I'll give you the number. Q3 EPS $1.67. That's a 10-cent beat. Sales of $45.4 billion versus a $44.89 billion estimate. Q3 iPhone sales 41 million, iPad 11.42, and Macs at 4.29 million. And they also have some good news for the upcoming quarter. They see Q4 sales at between 49 to 52 billion dollars. Joel.
Let's take a look at the technicals. Really just took off and never looked back. I can give you the pre-market high, 159.90. That's right up against the psychological 160 level, former all-time high, 156.65. We'll see if that comes into play. Not sure if we're going to get a repeat of the Facebook. Now, remember, Facebook hit 179, I believe, in pre-market trading. Never saw that level during the regular session, but keeping an eye on 159.90. That's the pre-market high. You can see the activity in Facebook from the other day, but just hanging up here in the 159 handle. So don't know if you'll see that same scenario. Dennis, were you able to catch any of that Apple move, or did you opt to do some other things?
Did we lose? Dennis is around. I'm trying to figure out first day gremlins of a new streaming software, so we do apologize. But I know Dennis is here. He's probably
I'm
muted
here,
himself.
but I have an echo through. So, okay, so here's what's happening, just to let everybody know, the listeners here, and I'm on echo. So we have two software. We have Skype running, we have Zoom running. I'm echoing through Zoom. Is there any way to put me over to Skype so that I don't echo? We're trying to just solve this on the fly.
Oh, you're on right now, Dennis, and I can hear you fine. So.
No, but they're not hearing it fine on the show. So let me know if this sounds okay on the show. Fantastic, but they're saying that they hear an echo here still. So maybe it's fixed now. Let me know if it's okay, chat. If I sound okay. Technical difficulties are just killing us here. We do apologize for it. We're trying very hard to work through it. Working with new software here this morning too. So chat, if you can stay with us and let us know if you hear this or if I still sound like an echo, then we might have to do something different. So yeah, John says the echo is really bad. So
all right. Well, in the meantime, Joel, you just did some. I was asking you to do technicals, but you kind of did some technicals. So do some more technicals, and I'll I'll figure out Dennis. Hold on 1 second, folks.
All right, we had some moves, and let's just look at some of the suppliers here. If you're not trading the hot rod, the suppliers to Apple are very important. Okay, so let's go with Skyworks, XW. All right, that got a nice pop too. That got over 107.50 to 107.75. So that got a nice rise. Let's look at that on the dailies, and you can see the all-time high on that is 112.11. You also had a high at 108.56. So that could be another target on the upside. But Spencer, why don't we take one quick break here and see if we can iron this out?
Well, let's do one more. Dennis, are you around right now?
I don't know if we can go through Skype to get rid of the echo. That's what I was trying to do for you to enable my audio through Skype, and then it might not echo. But in any regard here,
right now in and out, and I'd like to know. I'm hearing because we're on like a little bit of a delay, so I'm listening to.
Okay.
All right,
okay, well, I'll give you my breakdown here on Apple. So obviously Apple, new all-time highs here. I'm happy, still on Apple in my investment portfolio. Like I was saying, I still, I'm always going to say as technicals, take a backseat when you have fundamental information. And that's before the report. Now we have it after. 160 psychological level is going to matter here. So, that's something, and that's a level to keep in mind here for today. If you're looking at other stocks, and I was trading a few of these after hours too, you can look at the suppliers and CRUS getting a big pop here. It's up 4% here this morning. SWKS is up 3%. QRVO, another Apple supplier here, it's bid up and was trading up last night, almost $2 there last night for QRVO, actively trading in the 70 handle. And then STM also is getting a nice pop off this as well. So the Apple suppliers also benefiting from the Apple earnings.
You can see the rally and all of these issues. So just keep an eye on your daily charts to see if they coincide with any of the pre-market levels. QRVO here did have some major resistance here above 70. And let's see how we're doing in pre-market trading. We've hit 70.25, and we're just hanging out there. So keep an eye on your daily levels. Dennis, not all the earnings were good, though. So why don't we take a look at AMC?
Well, AMC has been in a world of hurt for a long time. And we're not talking AMCX, the network. We're talking AMC Entertainment, the movie theater chain. And that stock, since topping out at $30 in January or $35 in January, it's been straight down all year. Not only was it straight down all year, it was straight down all last night. Stock falling another 24% here just this morning. Spencer, what were the numbers for AMC? They must have just been a disaster.
Dennis, I thought you go to the movies all the time.
Obviously not enough.
I guess not.
With the 2-year-old at home, you never go to the movies.
All right, Q2 EPS from AMC there, $1. Well, this is what they're seeing. Oh, this is confused. So $1.34 to $1.36 loss versus a 24-cent gain in the same quarter last year. Sales of about $1.2 billion versus a $1.26 billion estimate. They're seeing their guidance for the fiscal year well below the estimate. The estimate was 58 cents. They're reporting probably around $1 loss for the EPS, and sales obviously well worse than the estimate as well. So no one's going to the movies.
Jumping over to the charts, Joel, give us a breakdown here on AMC and the action from last night and this morning.
There's really not much to tell you, Dennis. You made a new all-time low in this issue. This issue debuted. This was back in December of 2013. They had an all-time low of 1881. We've obliterated that. We made a 1510 low. 1585 is your last print. So just looking at this, I think you have some buyers here. I can't actually say that I think the pre-market low is in, or that will be the low for the day. But 3, 4, 15-minute brackets, you bounced off the $15 area. So better place to cover short than a try long here. Since you hit that 1510, you have not been over to get over $16. So there's your early levels if you're trading AMC.
Jumping over here to FireEye earnings, FEYE. Spencer, give us the numbers here. Stock getting a nice lift in the pre-market.
FireEye Q2 EPS of a 4-cent loss versus a 12-cent loss estimate. Sales of 185.5 versus 176 million dollars. So a beat on the EPS and a beat on the sales. They're also raising their guidance for the quarter and the fiscal year. All right, selling, Joel.
All right, FireEye getting a nice pop here. As you could see in trading that you did get a sniff of $16 off the number, hanging out here at 1575. Last print at 1581. FireEye had some bad news earlier in the week. Looks like we're a little bit on the comeback trail here. Very interesting above $16. You've got a above or at 16 4 or 5 times here going back to mid-April. But each time it failed bad. And I'll just give you the recent high of the move. The recent high of the move was 1640. That was on July 19th. So multiple highs here. Haven't quite climbed in there, but boy, close over 16 would be real good for the stock for continued upside.
And let's move on. We're having some issues with Dennis, clearly, because we're having some issues with Dennis throughout the show. But let's move on to TWX. I wanted to hit on that because they also reported this morning their Q2 adjusted EPS of $1.33 versus $1.19. Sales of 7.3 versus that's in line with the estimate, $7.3 billion. They are of course involved with the AT&T merger that may or may not go through, but they did reaffirm their outlook for the fiscal year. While they were at it, Joel, what are you seeing in TWX?
I'll just give you the pre-market high there. Pre-market high, just under 104. I mean, this thing is being taken over. Actually, above. It's been above the price I believe that it was originally targeted for here. So, if you're still holding on ahead of the merger, be able to sell at all-time high. The former all-time high was made a few days ago at 103.34. Currently trading at 102.81.
Dennis, are you with us?
Hear me? Okay, you hear me now. I don't know why you keep losing my audio. So I talk and then nobody hears me, and then I don't talk and everybody hears me. So apologies once again here. Obviously, some major issues here on my. It's not on my end, but anyways, let's go on here to Groupon GRPN. They reported earnings here this morning. Stock is trading slightly up in the pre-market. Give us the number, Spencer. Okay, I'm not sure if you guys can hear me. I don't know what's going on. So this is wacky world here. This is, I know it's difficulties, audio difficulties here, but holy cow, it's hard to do a live show when you don't know if they're hearing you or they're not hearing you. HUM, Humana here, HUM trading up 5 points in the pre-market. The earnings were good here. Spencer, if we can hear you, give us the numbers. This is what they do. Okay, they're hearing me now, but they can't hear Spencer or Joel. So
they can
coming
now.
in and out.
They can now. So Joel, give us some technicals.
All right, we just hit 238, and back at last print is at 236, and just kind of holding there. Can't really say a lot of volume is actually trading on this, so we'll see if in fact we could take out that pre-market high. Let's go to the daily charts here. All-time high 243.74. That doesn't look like it's going to come into play here. Instead, let's see what we've had when we've approached 240. The last time we were up in this area, we had a 38.18 high. That was on July 18th. If that is actually breached, 239.82, real close to that 240 number. That was your high on July 17th.
Not sure if the earnings matter that much because obviously the stock is getting taken over. But TWX earnings, how are they going?
We did those, Dennis. We got the TWX in.
That's what I couldn't hear.
That's okay, but let's move on to the next one.
S&P futures moving up here, $175, approaching the highs of the session at 24.76.
JWN, let's move away from earnings because I don't know which ones you did and which ones you didn't. So let's go over here. Nordstrom, JWN, trading down 2 points in the pre-market. Apparently, they might not be selling this company. This is news that, obviously the market was hoping that they would say that they're maybe going to do a private deal. You can see back during June, the stock gap from 40 up to 48 on news that they might take it private. Well, it looks like that might not happen here now, so stock is down. One thing to consider is that the retailers were in the dump in June. And when this information came out, or since that information has come out, a lot of the retailers have come back significantly here. So I don't expect Nordstrom to all of a sudden go back down to $40 or $42 because the retailers are up substantially since then. So it's down a couple points, understandable. I think you got support at 46.
46, multiple lows in that area. Haven't quite reached it in pre-market trading. Down $1.94. Pre-market low is at 46.50. I don't know, 46 area, or maybe you'd be more inclined to wait for it to get closer to the 44. After you had that news of the supposed sale, you had a pop up, or that gap might have been in on earnings. One thing I would like to look at a little bit longer term here, you had a move from 40 to 50. You are now having that retracement that brings you back down to the $45 area. But first, we'll see if those buyers are still present at 46.
Jumping over to the ratings parade, you got a couple of interesting ones here this morning. Burlington BURL getting downgraded at Credit Suisse. This stock has not participated in the recent retail rally, probably because it never really participated in the retail sell-off. So these ones like TJX, Burlington, they've held up better than the others, and that's why they didn't participate in the recent bounce, because it was more just short covering the recent bounce on the Kohl's and the Macy's and all the other retailers that have been beat up. But Burlington has actually performed quite well and held up quite well, considering how weak the other ones have been for the last couple of years. So BURL gets downgraded this morning here at Credit Suisse. Joel, give us the technicals.
Not a lot of trading here going on off that downgrade. Your close is 88.23. So we'll see if we can even get green on the session with the downgrade. 89.45 was your high from yesterday. Just using the range from yesterday, because yesterday's low was 86.78. In fact, if you take that out, you got a lot of room. Your 2-day low is down at 84.21. So a lot of air in this thing, but we'll see if the downgrade gets it going to the downside.
Pfizer getting upgraded at BMO Capital. It's also ex-dividend here today. So if you're looking and saying, oh, Pfizer's trading down the pre-market, it's not. It paid a 32-cent dividend, so it closed at 33.08. The adjusted close for the dividend is 32.76, so it's actually trading up 24 cents here this morning on the BMO upgrade.
Yesterday earnings, you had a chance to buy it near support. You had a low at 32.72 yesterday. That was 3 cents off your low from the 27th. So trying to get back and hold above 33. Of course, Dennis mentioned the adjusted close here on the dividend. So all those that got a good price yesterday and got the dividend may be wanting to take some profits here. On the upside, two highs. Yesterday's high 33.30 and your 2-day high 33.39. So we'll see. Holds 33 here the day after a dividend. Not bad trading action yesterday. Did hold up. I kind of like Pfizer here a little bit longer term.
JBL gets initiated with an overweight at JP Morgan. Price target $40. Stock trading up slightly in the pre-market, but bid up. It's bid up at 30.65. JBL closed at 30.42. So getting some of the losses back from yesterday there. And it's got a little bit of overhead resistance here, though, Joel.
Let's take a look at JBL here. You do have a couple lows in the same area, JBL, but with an upgrade. You may not be seeing those lows. Instead, we are going to look for resistance. And last two sessions, you stopped at almost the exact same place, 30.68, 30.70, trading up a dime at 30.52. So you clear that double top there off the upgrade. I like this up into a little bit into the 31 handle. Your 3-day high is 31.14.
Okay. Hopefully you didn't do Mondelez yet, MDL Zebra, but we're going back to the earnings parade here. Mondelez trading up $1.50 in the pre-market. The numbers were pretty good. Spencer, do we still have you?
Hey, you always have me, Dennis. Come on,
Okay,
you can't get rid of me that easily. Mondelez, where is their number? Q2 adjusted EPS 48 cents versus a 46-cent estimate. Sales of 5.98 for $6.02 billion. So a slight beat on the EPS and a slight miss on the sales. They're also raising their dividend from 19 cents to 22 cents per share.
MDL Zebra 45. This is a psychological level for it too. The stock had been beat up from June, got some of the losses back. The food stocks have been under pressure, though. They have not been in favor. And I don't think this is going to be one that everybody's going to jump into simply because the stocks are out of favor for the last couple of months. So I'm not jumping in here buying it here at 45 this morning. I think I'd be doing the opposite.
All right. Looking at this, you did have a couple tops at 44.50. We have cleared that in the pre-market. Now, if you go into reverse, that could be an area of support. If you're looking for a gap fill, and sometimes you do it pretty quickly. They get down near that high from yesterday. 44.05 was the high, so maybe throw a low ball bid out there at 44.10 if you get a little bit of a downdraft. Going to the dailies here, you see the resistance that Dennis is talking about here at $45. In fact, you stopped there on the nose. That was on June 27th, but we're printing there. I don't know if bid or offered, but looks like you have a high that you stay. Is it bid or offered there?
It's bid up at 45, but print near, Joel? You from the country? Print near? I don't know if I've ever heard you say that on the show before. Print near. I've been doing the show with you for 4 years. I don't know if I've ever heard you say print near.
Printing near?
Oh, you said printing near. It sounded like print near, like pretty near. That's like something they say in the country. Tell our audio.
I've been listening to a lot of country music lately, so I don't know if that's
you're printing near sound like print near. That's what I was like, are you from the country? Print near. That's what they say up north. They say print near. It means pretty near. So printing near.
45.10. That's your last print. We'll see if we can get in there at 45.33. And so Ace has to hop in with my NVIDIA, and I don't think I've said that in a long time, right?
Yeah, the NVIDIA jar is starting to get empty there. We need that from you. So, okay, Herbalife, HLF, got beat up last night. Stock hasn't traded here this morning, but it was actually trading the 63 handle last night. Not good report. Spencer, give us the details for Herbalife.
Oh, Q2, $1.51 versus $1.12. Sales of 1.1 versus $1.16 billion, and they're raising their guidance too. Their adjusted EPS is $4.10 from $4.10 to $4.50. Now it's $4.30 to $4.70. And then Q3 sales growth is up 5% to flat. So those are good numbers.
Not good enough, apparently. Anyway, stocks looks like it's filling a gap here, Joel.
63 even, Dennis. That's your low print back up at 64. You did have a big gap up before, and perfect gap fill here, Dennis. 62.92. That was your high on May 4th. That was probably the earnings report. So 65.85. So if you're looking for a gap fill, you might have missed it, folks, because it got within 8 cents of that. So I'll call 62.90 to 63 even. That fills the gap, and that's good enough for me. But as always, a better place to cover a short than it is to try a long. And you know who we just haven't heard from in a long time on anything is Mr. Icon. You know,
Icon has been quiet.
Yeah.
That's a good point. He must be doing something big.
You think so?
I don't know. Yeah, it's been a long time. Usually he's out there tweeting his positions. I took this, I'm doing this. He's always out there talking. I have not heard. That was a great point. I've not heard from Mr. Icon in a long time. I hope he's okay.
Maybe we'll have Brentster give him a ring today and see.
Yeah, Brentster, call up Icon. Make sure he's okay over there and see if you can wake him up, because we like his action. When he talks about stocks, they always move. So get Icon. Jumping over, I wanted to talk Snap, S-N-A-P here.
Ooh.
Yeah, it's an interesting setup here. I mean, the stock we know has had the expiration lockup. And that's over now. But it's trying to form a little bit of a bottom at 13. Problem is it closed pretty weak, and I hate them when they close pretty weak, because then you're kind of getting a running start into it. If it takes out the low at 13, then I think this thing could go down another handle here. So you're setting up. There's a big number here at 13. If 13 holds, it could be okay. 13 goes, $12 could be in the future.
Well, that was an interesting day on the day of the lockup. I just want to see what the daily volume was on that. I mean, obviously, we don't have any reports yet, but had some good volume on that day. Actually, one of the biggest volume days that it's had in quite some time, traded at 49 million shares. 1307, 1310. But Dennis, as you mentioned here, we're only trading up 9 cents in the pre-market. But I don't think you get super excited if this thing does, goes 13, 07 and makes a 1298 print or something like that. Just be careful if it does that, then comes back above 13. But that's your level. And man, until this thing gets above 14, I don't even think about covering a short in it.
What about Twitter? We talked with Snap, and let's talk Twitter here. Stock obviously out of favor now since the earnings report here. It snuck through $16 yesterday, but then closed above it. Does that make you interested here, or is this stock just dead money now?
Man, I did see that. It did the old pop, and that's kind of what I was talking about, a similar kind of thing in Snap here. Like you had a 16 low in Twitter on Monday, you take it out 1591. The shorts are licking their chops, looking for 1550, and boom, turns around, settles at 1621, trading up in the pre-market 9 cents. So opening right into yesterday's high. I think I would like to see. Oh, man, that could be a double bottom though there, Dennis. 16 even, 1591. I mean, if you're looking for a swing trade, you're looking for, a bottom here. 40 cents. You're buying here at 1630. Your stop is back at that new low at 1590. Considerable upside if you get a move. But man, I don't know. Is it going to be an upgrade? Is it going to be?
It needs a catalyst.
What's it going to be?
Dump. It needs somebody to come and defend it, like a big analyst or something, or something else to happen, because it's just in the dump, and people. It's funny, stocks can go from loved, and it was all loved at 20, and now it's all hated at 16. Everybody seems to get backwards all the time. It was the same thing with Apple too. Back last year, a year ago, you had the stock trading in the 90s, and everybody was giving it hate. Technical analysts were saying it was going to 75. Me and Nick Shaheen were saying no, and I actually bought it during then because I was like, it's got too much cash. I don't think it's going to 75, and I still like the value for it. And obviously, I was happy I bought it because the stocks ran 65 points since then. But Twitter's a completely different story because there's not really, there's a little bit of cash there, but there's not really any earnings power. They haven't figured it out yet. So there's no I would say you had some good support back at 14, but that's $2.50 below here. So it's hard to just take a bullish stance here on Twitter at 16.20.
Yeah, I mean, for a long time, I defended that stock. I made some money on the short side and the long side. I just don't know here, Dennis. I mean, what is it? I mean, I've never seen a product, and I probably said this before on the show, that so many people use and is so common and great source of information for news and for sports that and the president of the United States. I mean, I think everyone thought, with his use of it, it would increase, but it's just the fight for the ads, and it looks like your big winners in that obviously are Facebook and in Google, and it looks like Twitter is a distant third.
Okay, jumping over to imbalances here. A couple that stand out this morning. There are some big ones actually. Square, 191,000 to buy SQ. That stock is trading up 35 cents here in the pre-market, and they are due to report tonight. So you've got obviously some institution that says it's going to be good because they're coming in and buying it ahead of the earnings report. Big number for Square is 28 bucks. When earnings come out, I don't think 28 is going to matter. But I would say if it gets this huge run up there today, 28 is still major resistance there after the report. Technicals we know take a back seat. Also, just looking at imbalances here, we've got Morgan Stanley with 50,000 to sell. That's going opposite to Bank of America, which has 81,000 to buy. Jumping over to Alibaba, which is buy and balance, has every day 28,000 shares again to buy in Alibaba. Disney, 99,000 to sell. We haven't talked about the House of Mouse for a while, DIS. It's kind of been on the comeback trail here. Somebody taking some profits this morning with the selling balance of 99,000 shares. But what are your thoughts here on Disney?
You know who liked this a couple of weeks ago and was asking us about it?
Who?
Thankfulness.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. Remember, she was asking about that, and they had multiple lows in the same area. Thankfulness, if you're listening, congratulations here. I hope you're holding on to this one. Now, you look at this, and you're above 110 here. You hit 110.61 yesterday. Let's see if we can glean what it's doing in the pre-market. Kind of quiet here. Go to the 15-minute pre-market chart and take a look. Trading down a little bit. Keep an eye on yesterday's low. I'd keep it at 109.95. That was right near the close from Friday and Monday's closes. Well, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, and Monday, all closes right near the 110 area. So important for that to hold on a closing basis to continue making to make a move higher. But nice move for Disney off the double bottom here at the 103 area.
Downward Dog wants to know about Juniper, JNPR stock got the beats. Found support at the same spot it found in April. So it bounced right off that 27.5 support level almost perfectly. Up at 28.5 here this morning. So it's getting a little bit of a lift. Now you can kind of get in the middle of nowhere is the problem because support's well defined down 27.5. Resistance up there near 30 where it was just a few days ago. You're in the middle of nowhere here at 28.5.
Oh, yeah. Real good support. Let's see if we could get a little boost here. You're going to have to deal with 29, though. Dennis, you just mentioned that as a potential resistance level. Let's see if it was 29 right on the nose. What was your high here in Juniper? That 2-day high, 29.06. So just above that. And this one looks kind of interesting here on a longer term chart. Let's just zoom out to the monthlies. Oh, that doesn't look good because it went to 244.50. Let's go to the weeklies.
When was 244.50?
I don't know. Do you remember that, Dennis?
No, but that might have been back during the financial or during
no, tech bubble.
Juniper was out that long ago. 244. Holy cow. So if you've been holding on for the last 17 years, you're only down 90% on your investment.
A long consolidation period from the middle of 2001 all the way here. I mean, that's weird looking, but what I wanted to show you was on the weekly chart in $30. I mean, look how many times we hit that, got above it, even touched 31. So, but 29's level we'll be dealing with today in Juniper.
Okay, 8:35. Let's go get our guest. I'm going to try to see what's happening with the audio for me.
Dennis, we're going to have Mike call us in. So let's keep going. And when Mike is on, I'll let you know.
Okay, well, they can't hear me on echo now here anyway. So, okay. Well, we'll try one more. Let's just go preview Tesla. Going to report here after the bell. I'll keep my talking to a limited because I know you're getting an echo on me again now. TSLA, trading up $1.50 in the pre-market. Joel, break down technicals.
All right, let's take a look at Tesla here. And we're going to be talking a lot about Tesla today when Gene Munster's visiting the office. I know Raz has a whole list of questions he wants to ask about this company. And ahead of the report, let's see how Tesla is trading. You moves pretty good all the time, but let's see how it moves on this report. Trading up $1.23 here at 320.80. And you got a couple highs just congregating right at that 324.45. That was a high from yesterday. And I think I did a retracement on this one before, and this little rally that we had from the low just above $300 at 303. Call it a 44-point move. Half of that is 22. You had 22 to 303, 3.25. That's kind of where you're hanging out. That was the vicinity of yesterday's high. So good, bad, or ugly with the report. 3.25 is a big number here in Tesla.
All right, let's move on to we covered the balances. I'm trying to grab Mike for a second here. So we're covering the balances. We covered ratings. But let's look at some of the stocks maybe reporting later today after the bell. Or did we talk about Square yet?
Yeah, we did. We
covered Square.
About, yep.
Okay. I've been sort of like in and out of the background today, but I'm going through my list of stocks that are due to report today.
Triple D.
Triple D.
Yeah, 3D Systems.
All right.
I still own my investment portfolio there. I sold half of it up at 22. I wish I would have sold the whole thing, obviously, because it's now down at 17.27. It's got some cash. It's got, some cash flow coming. So I'm going to stick with this other half of it. I bought it back at 14 handle, I believe. Obviously, wish I would have sold all 22, though.
Just take a look at the initials of Dennis here, Triple D, traded up. Boy, I didn't even realize this thing snuck over $20. The dog.
I sold it up there at $22, and I was like, I sold half, and I'm like, I'm going to hold on to half, and it came up and gave me a second chance, and I knew I should have rang the register on the other half then, and I didn't, and I wanted to try to stick with it, but that was the wrong call. Should have sold out the other half.
All right, you got some nice support forming here in the dailies. Kind of had a washout low at 1629. That was 4 sessions ago. Now kind of just creeping up here. One minor stopping point at 1753. That is your 4-day high. Above that, you get well into the 18 handle. Your 5 and 6 day high, 1828 and 1842.
Also reporting earnings last night. We're kind of jumping all over the place here, but I don't think we covered this one. I just hit my filter again. Garmin, GRMN. Stock is trading up 6% in the pre-market. Spencer, give us the numbers for GRMN.
88 cents versus 81 cents, 816 million in sales versus 807 million. Again, raising that guidance. They're raising their EPS, and they're raising their sales for the fiscal year.
Garmin. Now, who do we have on the show here a couple weeks ago that was bullish this stock? Ivan Feinseth was here and gave you a lot of shots at the $50 area. In fact, he traded 50 in yesterday's session, under 50. 49.80, and that coincided with a few other lows at 49.81 and 49.90. That's history now. We hit $54. We hit 54 even in pre-market trading. That level could come into play as well in the regular session as we're at 53. Got a high at 54.03. That was back on June 5th. So see if that comes into play. To fill the gap from yesterday, you're going to need one heck of a sell-off all the way down to 50.78 to fill the gap.
And a couple other ones here. Might as well just cover the rest of the earnings here because I guess our guest is delayed. SPWR, SunPower, absolutely getting the beats here this morning. This is one of those solar stocks. Solar stocks been hot, so you knew they had to blow it away. What were the earnings, Spencer?
For SunPower?
Yeah, SPWR.
Yeah, that's one of the tickers I can never quite get right. I'm actually, there we go. Q2 EPS, 35-cent loss versus a 44-cent loss estimate. So they beat that number. Sales of 314 versus $312 million.
Stock trading down 10% here in the pre-market. It's a shellacking for SunPower.
Currently, you printed 10.19. That's down $1.20 here. Whew, boy, $10. Let me just give you a low here that you had going back a few sessions at 9.90. We are 30 cents away from that. If that doesn't hold, look out, 9.57. That was your low on July 13th.
All right, we're taking a quick break, and I'm going to go grab Mike Olson, so we'll be right back.